This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Tonight on the South Today. After 2 years and a multi-million-dollar refurbishment, Dunedin's historic dental school is officially reopened. A new library manager is welcomed in Oamaru. And a singing group in Balclutha has received a new lease on life after a plea in the Otago Daily Times. Kia ora, good evening, I'm Sophie Morris. After 2 years of modernisation, Dunedin's iconic dental school is set to welcome students again. The University of Otago officially opened the newly refurbished historic Walsh building.
2 years in the making, the University of Otago's newly refurbished Walsh building was officially opened today. Originally opened in 1961, today's event was attended by the daughters of Sir John Walsh, who was the dean of the school when it was built.
And it's joined with the clinical services building, or the dental hospital, together. So we've got a nice symbol of the old and the new for the future of dental education and research in New Zealand.
The ceremony was held in what would have been a car park in years gone by. While the work was undertaken, staff and students had to work across the university's campus.
And in that time, our staff and mainly our staff, but some students as well, have had to be decanted around the university. So it's the first time some staff who've been appointed recently have been back together in one place.
The Walsh building's heritage-listed glass curtain facade has been upgraded and replicated to meet current standards. Morgan says it's the best dental facility he's seen in his career.
So we've got a facility which is up to date, it's state of the art.
Morgan comes from a long line of graduates from the school himself.
My grandfather graduated from the first dental school here at Otago. My uncle graduated from the second dental school, and I graduated from this one. So we've got a long lineage of family graduating as dentists from Otago.
Morgan says the overall $130 million project is future-proofed for education research long into the 21st century. In Dunedin, the South Today.
National Party tourism spokesman Todd McClay visited tourism and travel leaders in Queenstown yesterday. The MP for Rotorua says the government's failure to provide a timeframe for reopening the border to Australia and rolling out the COVID-19 vaccine is risking the survival of businesses in Queenstown and other southern tourist towns. He agreed at the meeting that radical solutions such as subsidising domestic airfares to encourage people to holiday in southern South Island tourist towns were worth looking into. Mr McClay also visited Te Anau with Southland MP Joseph Mooney on Sunday, where they met small business owners. Emotions were running high at the Oamaru Library yesterday as the new Waitaki District Libraries manager was welcomed by staff and the community. New manager Jenny Bean is set to take over from the longest-serving manager Philip Van Zyl, who was also on hand to welcome her.
The new manager of the Waitaki District Libraries is welcomed with a pōwhiri at the Oamaru Library. Anne Te Maiharoa Dodds leads Jenny Bean and her family as she enters the library as manager for the first time. On hand to welcome her is the man who she will replace, long-serving library manager Philip Van Zyl.
What I'm really looking forward to is being able to support the staff with the fantastic work that they currently are doing in the community, and stabilising and solidifying the work that they're doing.
Van Zyl had been manager for the last 10 years and will move to Dunedin with his wife. His last day will be the 10th of March. He says they were fortunate to recruit someone who knows the community and could hit the ground running.
But also had the connections with our multicultural and our tangata whenua partners.
Bean, who was originally from Oamaru, moved from Palmerston for the job.
Just continuing Philip's fantastic work that he's been doing to create such a wonderful community space.
After a blessing from Te Maiharoa Dodds, the crowd enjoyed some kai. In Oamaru, the South Today.
An allegation of COVID-19 breaches at the Otago Farmers Market is believed to be the first major COVID-related call-out for Dunedin Police in 6 months. On Saturday, a member of the public contacted the Dunedin City Council with concerns protocols were not being followed and visitors were not distancing properly. Senior Sergeant Craig Dennison of Dunedin says police investigated but found the organisers were following the Level 2 protocols. Senior Sergeant Dennison welcomed the complaint and says people should not hesitate to contact police if they have any concerns. Otago Farmers Market General Manager Michelle Driscoll says organisers work hard to make sure people record their visits and space themselves properly. A singing group in Balclutha have received a new lease on life after the choir's other 2 conductors have stepped down. The Phoenix Singers are now rehearsing for a concert in May with a new interim conductor.
After the conductors of Balclutha's Phoenix Singers stepped down to pursue other interests, it left this choir without a leader. But an article a month ago in the Otago Daily Times appealing for someone to give them musical direction has been a success, with a new interim conductor stepping in.
Well, we weren't inundated, I must say, but you only need one person if they're the right person. And that lovely lady rang, in fact that very morning, that it had appeared in the ODT and expressed consternation that we would be left without someone to lead us.
Interim conductor Claire Stevens says the Balclutha choir is a very good one.
Well, I've only been once so far, but I was very impressed actually. They picked things up last week very quickly, and obviously they've had some very good training under some excellent leadership, so I'm very privileged to be able to work with a group like that.
She says it would be a shame for the choir to stop after 21 years of singing to the community simply because of the lack of a musical director.
It's really to keep this group going, because when I heard they were without a leader, you don't want people, especially after last year, to give up singing, because that's something that gives people not only the musical benefits but social benefits and also a lot of health and well-being. So it's really important to keep things ticking over.
Stevens is very busy leading 2 other community choirs, one in Dunedin and one in Oamaru, so she doesn't have time to attend every practice in Balclutha, and she hopes to teach some of the members how to lead the rehearsals they hold every Monday night.
So it's a matter of helping the group to be a little bit more self-sufficient, so that we're very lucky to have 3 of the group step forward and put their hands up to say they'd be prepared to take some warm-ups or perhaps lead a song. So with that, and with Colin, who was the previous director, I think they're going to manage extremely well if I can't be here, and we'll work towards that concert in May, and I'm sure it'll be a good one.
In Balclutha, the South Today.
Still to come on the South Today. One of Dunedin's most famous native birds has had a particularly hard landing, and a Wanaka artist is hoping her new jewellery business will take off.
All new episodes of Put Some Colour in Your Life are now screening on Channel 39. Take a look at Australian artists and the techniques they use in their studio. Put Some Colour in Your Life, Tuesdays, 7:30.
If you're at risk of developing melanoma skin cancer, you owe it to yourself to have a mole map. Mole map is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life.
Hi, it's Lindsay here from Alex Campbell Menswear. Our 3 stores have got a deal for you. We're going hard, we're going early, so we've gone hard on the prices, 50% off, a great selection. Shorts, look at all these shorts. T-shirts, they're all half price. Check out all those tees along there. What about all these ones down here? Also at a great saving, 50% off. We're going hard, we're going early. Polo shirts, short sleeve shirts, there's such a variety.
Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
It's the Alex Campbell Menswear, go hard, go early, summer sale. Don't miss this one.
Ah, TV, our favourite babysitter. But it can be tough keeping up with what our tamariki are watching. Luckily, the Broadcasting Standards Authority has made some smart changes to the classification labels. Ooh! Plus changes to the time of day certain rated shows will air, and awesome new parental lock features, meaning your babysitter's job is safe. Find out more at safeviewing.co.nz.
A poorly maintained heat pump can lose up to 35% of its output. The Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner team are experts. Their specially developed chemical wash is totally biodegradable. Call Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner and get the job done by the professionals.
Welcome back. An elderly woman was forced to wait more than an hour for an ambulance after she tripped and fell in Dunedin yesterday. A witness told the Otago Daily Times the woman, who was covered in blankets and being attended to by passers-by, lay on the ground for 90 minutes before an ambulance arrived. An ambulance arrived at 12:30 and left with the injured woman about 15 minutes later. St John Coastal Otago Territory Manager Doug Third says while the patient's condition was serious, it was not deemed life-threatening. While St John's objective is to respond as soon as possible, when resources were stretched, there could be a delay for non-life-threatening incidents. While the world's eyes are on the Sussexes, another royal closer to home has gone viral. The Royal Albatross cam on Tairoa Head captured a clumsy landing of an adult Royal Albatross who crashed while returning to feed its chick on Saturday. In the video, the adult comes in a bit too hot before flipping over onto its back and flailing its legs around like it's pedaling on an imaginary bicycle. The unfazed chick waits patiently as the adult albatross rights itself before walking off. The camera footage has racked up thousands of views on YouTube and social media. The Department of Conservation's Royal Cam at Tairoa Head has gained millions of views of ear catching and bird rearing since the live stream began in 2016. The number of people viewing the Royal Cam has increased since it became a collaborative project with Cornell University in America. On March 3rd, the Royal Albatross Centre said the Royal Cam chick now weighs 3 kilograms at 37 days old and is still being brooded part-time by parents. Small sculptures that you can wear is how a Wanaka-based artist describes her handcrafted jewellery. After experimenting with art while working at a local art gallery, artist Briar Hardy-Hesson has now started a new career as an artist.
Small sculptures you can wear is how artist Briar Hardy-Hesson of Wanaka describes her handcrafted jewellery.
So in terms of jewellery, it's primarily sterling silver that I'm working with at the moment. And I guess the decorative element of what I'm doing at the moment is I am using crushed up gemstones and setting them in resin. So really bright, colourful, organic, but I guess wearable art jewellery.
Jewellery wasn't her first artistic pursuit.
I was really into photography as a teenager and painting, and even when I was at Elam had a huge focus on video, and I guess I've always dabbled in a lot of things, but when I started working at Gallery 33 and I was working with the jewellery there, that really inspired me to learn more, to find out about the processes and what was required to make jewellery. I found it really exciting and really interesting, little small sculptures that you can wear.
Creating her jewellery starts with making a wax model.
With a ring, you start off with a blank wax circle tube. You carve it, decorate it.
This is then cast into sterling silver.
It gets put into a plaster mould, and then they shoot molten silver into that mould. The wax disappears, and the silver takes place where the wax is.
Crushed gemstone fragments are carefully selected.
I like the little fragments that I get out of a smashed up rock, and then I carefully, with tweezers, select every little fragment and sort of crumb of that stone and place it into the piece of jewellery.
Resin is used as a glue to set the piece.
So the resin's sticking it all together and holding it in place.
The final look is organic, colourful and cheerful.
With setting the stones, I really like the control of being able to choose all the right shades, like the perfect shades of stone, because it's almost like paint in that when you layer up the stones, you can easily muddy them if you're not choosing the right stone. So I guess it's just like a careful selection process. If I've got in my mind I want it to be the brightest blue I can possibly make, then I'm trying to select all those little bits of stone that have the brightest blue bits in it, because all stones have other minerals running through them with blacks and whites and greys, and it can dull things down, so I want them to be as colourful as possible.
In Wanaka for the South Today.
After the break on the South Today, the government suspends talks with mining giant Rio Tinto over pollution issues at its Tiwai Point aluminium smelter. And we check out the weather.
What have you got? Okay. Chicks World, party time, excellent.
Love it!
Chicks World.
Chicks World.
Hi, it's Lindsay here from Alex Campbell Menswear. Our 3 stores have got a deal for you. We're going hard, we're going early, so we've gone hard on the prices, 50% off, a great selection. Shorts, look at all these shorts. T-shirts, they're all half price. Check out all those tees along there. What about all these ones down here? Also at a great saving, 50% off. We're going hard, we're going early. Polo shirts, short sleeve shirts, there's such a variety.
Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
It's the Alex Campbell Menswear, go hard, go early, summer sale. Don't miss this one.
A poorly maintained heat pump can lose up to 35% of its output. The Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner team are experts. Their specially developed chemical wash is totally biodegradable. Call Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner and get the job done by the professionals.
If you're at risk of developing melanoma skin cancer, you owe it to yourself to have a mole map. Mole map is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life.
welcome back. The government is suspending talks over the Tiwai aluminium smelter until it meets its environmental commitments over cleaning up its landfill and spent cell liner waste. Negotiations have been ongoing since September over how New Zealand aluminium smelters will shut the plant down in late 2024. Finance Minister Grant Robertson has told Rio Tinto they need to provide more information and will now call off talks until the company was more upfront. Rio Tinto still does not know what it will do with the 181,000 tonnes of highly toxic liner waste stockpiled at the smelter, with much of it inside the coastal marine area. Options for getting rid of the waste include finding a local user or exporting it, both of which are proving difficult. And now recapping tonight's top stories on the South Today. After 2 years in a multi-million-dollar refurbishment, Dunedin's historic dental school is officially reopened. A new library manager is welcomed in Oamaru, with Jenny Bean taking the reins from a long-standing guardian. And a singing group in Balclutha has received a new lease on life after a plea in the Otago Daily Times. And now for a look at what's happening in tomorrow's ODT. Welcome, Barry.
Hello, Sophie.
Good evening.
Council charges for developing sections in Dunedin is set to more than double in some areas. So that's the whole move for more density housing, splitting up your sections, etc. So there's some costs and details in that report, which will be interesting reading. Right. We have a report on a man sentenced in Invercargill over a crash that killed a young father and baby, so that's to come. And Professor Harleen Hayne has attended her last council meeting of the University of Otago. She reported enrolments were up, and then the uni acknowledged her 10-year tenure as Vice-Chancellor by awarding her an honorary doctorate.
Right.
So Southern cancer treatment waiting times are creeping back up, and this has prompted the Cancer Society to write to the District Health Board to plead for urgent action. And one of the most significant barriers in the climate change battle in Otago is people not understanding the serious and pressing need to adapt. That's according to a new report. We have some good sports news out there, and the Test Championship between the Kiwis and India has been taken away from Lords to Southampton because the ground has a hotel next to it. So just taking all precautions for COVID, so it makes sense.
Right, yeah.
So that's about us.
Okay, thank you, Barry. And now for a look at the weather.
Tonight's weather proudly brought to you by Mole Map.
Beginning with the southern view, looking back towards the city from the Albatross colony. Looking at the situation, colder for a few days as southwesterly airflow takes over, bringing rain tomorrow and frosts inland on Thursday night. Starting at the northwest of the South Island, stormy here with 19 degrees and thunderstorms in Greymouth and 18 and rain in Westport. To the northeast, scattered showers for Blenheim with 22 degrees and rain for Nelson with 19. To Canterbury, partial cloud and 20 degrees in Kaikoura, scattered showers and 19 in Christchurch, and rain and 16 in Ashburton. To the southern towns, fresh southwesterlies and rain with 14 degrees in the Catlins and 13 degrees in Balclutha, Lumsden and Gore. To central Otago, variable winds and rain for most areas with 15 degrees in Queenstown and Wanaka and 16 in Alexandra Te Anau can expect fresh southwesterlies, rain and 13. To the northern towns, increasing southerlies and rain on the coast with 18 degrees in Timaru and 16 in Oamaru. Inland it's variable winds and rain with 16 in both Twizel and Omarama. In Dunedin, cloudy tonight with northerly winds and a low of 14. Overcast tomorrow with periods of rain, northeasterlies at first dying out, then fresh cold southwesterlies developing around the middle of the day. Rain will clear tomorrow night with winds decreasing, a high of 14 and a low of 5. Fine on Thursday with sunny periods and some cloud and moderate cool southwesterlies. Colder on Thursday night, a high of 15 and a low of 3. And in Invercargill, rain tonight with southwesterly winds and a low of 12. Rain tomorrow morning easing to showers with fresh cold southwesterlies. Showers clearing late in the day with winds decreasing, a high of 13 and a low of 4. Sunny periods and some cloud on Thursday with moderate cool southwesterlies, a high of 15 and a low of 2. That's all for our news this Tuesday. For the latest news from the southern region, head online to odt.co.nz or follow Channel 39 on Facebook and YouTube. Thanks for joining us. Ka kite anō.
This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.